sunlight, but not too much. At the same time, it's easy here to get the soil, put it in the poly bags or whatever you want to use as container, and you have a new forest in the making, basically. Plants, again, plants that may not be beneficial, but for the birds and the insects, they are. At the same time, when we started the Kabiokit farm, the idea was to have these plants as stabilizers for the soil on the edge of the pond. And you see again that one of the fingers of the pond here. So the water comes in for easy use for the nursery. You can here just scoop out the water and then you water the plants during the dry season. Doat mulching, again, the birds love it. They plant it everywhere, and the excess of it can go for to humans for consumption. What else do we see? We have the fig trees, different kinds, different varieties. This is for summer. The fruits, they're not super nice to eat, but it's survival food. Like this, you have bayogan, you have malatanglin, you have kalumpang, and all of these trees, they're not all beneficial for humans directly, but they are functioning in ways of creating a new Philippine tropical forest in the long run. In the meantime, they are a forest laboratory for us. We can get the soil, we can get the biomass, we can take some of its fruits, and many of the pioneer trees that are growing here are actually trees that are providing us with lots of food and lots of useful materials as well for cooking or for building things or for even stuffing our pillows, like the American kapok, which is prolific, growing prolific here and grows to a very, very large size, as you can see. If we move on, you can see that as this forest is emerging, that we planted palm trees in there. The palm trees, as I mentioned before, you can eat the nuts, you can use it for roofing. We also planted dipterocarps because we know that eventually they will take care of the forest. This is lawaan, and as you can see, it's a small tree, small trunk, but it's a very tall tree already. And it has a very small canopy. Once it peaks above the mumbin plum and acacias, that tree will dominate the forest. And below, it's not like you have a dark forest. You still have lots of light coming in. This is Fioleta. So the flowers here are purple, and you can use them for syrup, for cough syrup, and all kinds of other things. So it's edible. The flower is edible. So we try to squeeze in as much as possible in this landscape. Things that you can use, things that have meaning. And then your food garden doesn't become like a box in a farm, but it becomes like a patch, or it's like a guild of different components that are going to work together and that are going to create this super resilient system. Again, if we zoom the camera into the forest, you see all the different palms. Here you have fishtail, gahan. Again, fishtail, one of the core of the palm is great eating material. And as you can see, it has many trunks coming out. So if you kill one trunk, it doesn't mean that the tree and or the palm will die. It's still alive. It's still going to feed you. Planete for wood. Bayak Usa, again, family of the Pandakate. All of these trees, small trees, again, on the edge of the pond, they attract the birds. The birds will help you to pollinate. They will also help you to spread the seeds. And as you can see, the bamboos that are growing on the edge of this forest and on the gardens that are planted on the edge of the pond. So when you want to harvest them, you just chop them, you cut them down, you let them fall into the water, and a beautiful kingfisher is sitting on the branch there trying to catch a fish while we are talking. So all of these animals, all of these living components are here to help us to make a very resilient and adaptive system. And it's not just nice in terms of components and what you can get out of it. It is super enjoyable to sit here, to take a rest, to look at the pond and see birds and other animals in action. And I think that's what we need to achieve in a permaculture food garden. It's not just about the money that you make. It's also about the health and the well-being that you get as a person out of a system like this. So I think that's the message, the main message that we would like to share with you. When you visit a place like this, it's a place of enjoyment. It's a place of discovery. It's a place of seeing things in a new light. So come and take a look and see for yourself how you can adapt and take some of these ideas into your own system.
You need to learn American Sign Language. And you're on.
Okay, now, so seemingly the sound issue is okay. I've been talking a lot. I'm not going to repeat it, but here we are. We are going to synthesize again once more what came out of the workshop after the talk with Vincer on building resilience. So can I see the screen, please? Or can we see the screen so I can share that with everyone? So here we go again, same system, outer circle, biosphere, and there are some interesting ideas here. We can coexist with nature. I mean that powerful drive of yes we can. It's only a matter of wanting to. Um, Agroforestry programs. We need more of that. I think Windsor was very inspiring about it. Yet um, it's still something we need to study more because every area has its own set of plants and trees and birds and animals and etc. So get to know them. Permaculture farms for food security as well as climate protection. This is about building them. We should start building them. We should start building farms that are not just boring green deserts, but really vibrant farms where biodiversity can be accepted at the same time. We can learn from how other living things are helping us to create an amazing set of abundance. Environmental sustainability, resilience must be addressed with great purpose. Yes, I think resilience it came also out of the talk of Vincer. It's not something to take light because climate change is happening, and we need that resilient system to at least bounce back and deal with the changes that are going to happen. Programs with local government, we can't do this alone. We need to inspire local governments as well, and politically a lot of changes has to happen as well. Our political paradigms will have to change. Setting up community permaculture farms, yes. The idea that trees and invite birds and bats, they have done that all the time, but we have been chopping them down, and so we lost sight of the bats and the birds. It's once you have that diversity that you also create a balance between certain species that may go in overdrive. Mind you, at this time, the only species in overdrive it's our species. It's us. It's the Anthropocene. Yeah, local governments again to tap them. Permaculture as a paradigm for economic viability and resiliency. Maybe that's something that moves more into the core of this discussion. And then somebody puts here also a question: are there guidelines for windbreaks? Just the fact that looking at the biosphere and looking at building resiliency, we need to understand windbreaks. We need to understand how farms with trees will protect the very vulnerable crops like rice or vegetables. And it has been proven time over again that once you mix trees and crops, that the crops will have a higher survivability when there is a strong wind passing by. So again, that's all being shared here. Let's create more actions and activities out of these. If you zoom in and we go to the orange post-its, here we are talking about society, the need for more information materials. I would say yes. The word here is also free. It's a tricky thing because internet is free. All the information is out there, but I think a lot of people still may need guidance to be able to tap the right kind of information. There are always lots of prophets and demagogues out there. It's up to us to listen to them or to disconnect from them. The right information for the right place, that's the essence. So getting to know your own place is the first step, I guess. And then let's get the free information materials flowing. Um, Disseminate perma knowledge. Yes, I think that's what we are doing. Putting a person like Vincer and also listen to Karen and listen to Bo. These are people in the field. They're doing their activism work, their preparation work, their building work on a daily basis. And there are many of the members doing that. So we just don't have time enough to put everyone up there and let them all share about this. So basic permaculture for farmers, yes, if people are open and willing to change, but that has to happen first on their level. We can come in and give trainings I would say at no cost, at little cost. We need to survive as well, but that's what we all do. But I think it's a pleasure to teach or to help people who really cross the threshold and said this is not going to work anymore. We need to change, and that change has to come from within. Projects about IKSP, I think this is indigenous knowledge and skills and practices. So yes, they are still there for as much as IP communities are still adhering to that, because many of them have been corrupted in the past by joining the bandwagon of the capitalist economy. Sadly saying, a lot of the IKSP has been lost already. So we have to go back as soon as possible and jive with that and learn from it and apply it ourselves as well. Indigenous plants and trees, to preserve them and to utilize them, put them into our farms. Every farm should have them. And I think there are many groups out there that share native plants and trees and seedlings and seeds, and we've been talking about that. So the best action we can do is actually creating that botanical paradise just nearby where we are. Natural surplus and abundance to be shared with other people. Yes, sharing, sharing, sharing. As long as the person on the other end of the equation is willing to accept, and probably he's also, or he or she is also willing to share with others. So zooming in closer by, what came out of this breakout session was also towards the economic aspect, how to make sites economically viable. It's a challenge. I think we asked the question to Vincer. Yes, over time the farm became economically viable, but we are still dealing with market forces. So it's a challenge, but I think it's a very important challenge that we start helping farms and member farms to really stand out and say, yes, we can survive. This is a decent living, etc. Promotion of forest and non-timber products as alternative products. Yes, because a farm, any typical permaculture farm, agroforestry farm, syntropy farm, we are producing so many byproducts that are not just byproducts but are useful products. But again, if we don't have a use for it because our imagination is lacking, then they are just like dead resources, something we just throw away or give out for free. In a real permaculture farm, when everything cycles together and everything kind of closed loops, and it's like a circular economy, there is no waste and there is not never enough of any material or any resource. Sell innovative and value-added products. I think yes, that kind of innovation on how to see and imagine amazing new adaptations for very ordinary products. And I think our farms are abound with that kind of ordinary product. Just a simple rice straw, the simple rice hull, all of these products were waste products before, but have become very valuable products over time. And you can apply that on anything: pili shells, coconut shells, the inner, the outer shell, etc. I can go on like this for ages, but economically, the opportunities are there. If the market is ready, that's another story. So we need to find that kind of connection as well. Skills development related to green livelihood. Yes, green livelihood, push that with your LGU. I would even say now this can be explored more in relation to government agency, because there is a law on green jobs, and government should engage green jobs, because anyway all countries in the world have to go towards that carbon neutrality, and 2030 with the sustainable development goals is going to be a very significant year for all of us. Climate window, reaching the SDGs at the same time, creating that amazing system of equality and probably of beauty as well. And that's where permaculture and biodiversity comes in. So I think this is an amazing output. Again, let's not be overwhelmed by the text that you see on screen. We will work on this. We'll prepare this, and I think we will plug in also your comments on the chat box as well. So I think this is still going to be an enriching process as we move forward. So thanks a lot to those who joined the breakout sessions, and I think we are good to go for an. Huh? Bianca's going to join me again. Nice, nice. So I'm not sitting alone on stage, but I'm going to wear my face mask for the new normal and the protocols. So guys, I'm hiding my face now. Bianca, come and join me.
I'm so sorry you have to hide your handsome face. Well, we gotta do what we gotta do in this new normal, right?
Exactly.
Hi. So, many of you here have been with us in the past PPCs, and it has always been a joy, especially for me, this last part, because it's an opportunity for our members to highlight what they have or achievements that they have in permaculture. So right now we're getting to that part in our PPC where we're having that members forum, giving them that moment to be able to highlight the things that they have done on their end for their projects, their success stories, and anything and everything that may inspire other permaculturists that are with us right now. And the idea for this members forum, or in the past PPC, what we would call as Pecha Kucha, and I'm so makulit, I'd always call it Kucha Pecha. You have forgiven me for that, so please.
But I think I made the same mistake, to be honest.
All right, so our Pecha Kucha. So the trick here is that in any of the many achievements or milestones that our members may share, that they be able to connect it with this year's convergence theme. And I believe you have shared this with them through the many information we sent out via emails, and also something that you have mentioned early on before you gave the synthesis. But just to be sure, we are working on a permaculture for a better normal. Diba? At ang tema natin nga, yung pagtatalaga ng mas mahusay na kagagawan. See, the operative word there is yung mas. We need to do better. We need to do.
And I even believe that we can do better.
Yes.
We are doing it already. I think we have been showing it, but sometimes we lose that masting. Maybe it's like we are running and we are almost at the end of our sprint.
Mhm.
So we give that little effort to make 2030 an amazing year of achievements. So yes, I think the slogan will kind of be with us for a very long time, I hope.
And I like the part where how permaculture is your it's the best position to be able to read the signs of the times, adapt to those changes being brought about, and design something that's going to help us have more resilient systems and to combat, as you have said, and mitigate all ill effects that we're facing right now. So I will not delay this any further. Once again, it is very much our joy, I know, to share the light and the limelight, if this is such, yes, with our members. So our first Pecha Kucha participant is Bonnie J. That's the full name that we have. And if Mr. Bonnie J is ready, there you are. Welcome to PPC 2020. Thank you for joining us and thank you for sharing. We give the floor to you.
Sir, thank you so much for having me. I am Bonnie J. Basada Bagaipo. I am the president and at the same time board of director of the Nabuntra Native Tree Enthusiasts Incorporated. So actually, ma'am, this Nabuntra Native Tree Enthusiast is an LGU or local government unit of Nabunturan in partnership with an NGO. So we are already a SEC registered. At the same time, we are already um, accredited in the local government unit of Nabunturan at the same time with Barangay Poblacion Nabunturan. So actually, ma'am, we were created last year. And last year, and our mission is to create an environmentally healthy community 183 at a time. So Nabunturan Native Tree Enthusiast is a vision of our founder, Attorney Carlo D. Angla. And we are just also a member of the Philippine Native Tree Enthusiast. So we are promoting Philippine Native trees, just like what I've heard from the speakers earlier, that we are promoting environmental friendly to the community. So that's the reason why that here in Nabunturan, we are aiming that Nabunturan will be the green city of native trees in the future as we are gearing towards city. So right now, actually, we are just new in the permaculture because we're just establishing 5.6 hectares agroforestry park. And we are hoping that through this Philippine Permaculture Association, we could learn a lot from the experts like you, ma'am. So thank you so much for having me, and hopefully we'll be able to share again. Hopefully in the near future, we'll be able to showcase what are the achievements of the Buntra Native Tree enthusiasts in our locality. Thank you so much, Bo.
Bonnie,
Uh,
if we have questions or concerns or comments to provide, Bonnie, please feel free to also type in your messages on our board.
yes, ma'am. Yes,
All
ma'am.
right.
Yes, po.
Yeah.
So what are all right, okay. So for what we can do is while we wait for comments that will come up for Bonnie, we give room and make this tuloy-tuloy, one
Yes,
member after the other, and then we can gather each one. We can have like a big panel or something.
Yes.
All right. So we proceed with our next speaker, Albert. Is Albert ready, or should we call in Wrench? Who is All right. So they're still setting up. You know, actually, Bonnie, you have more time. If there's anything else you'd like to share, this is the moment. Anything you'd like to add to what?
actually, ma'am, there are so many because we're just new in permaculture. We're just new in permaculture. That's the reason why that the 5.6 hectares, we are partnering with local government unit of the Bunturan. So the 5.6 hectares is divided with from the agro and forestry part. So we are promoting Philippine native tree species. We are promoting each species to be planted on that 5.6 hectare park. At the same time, we are also getting some seedlings, the different varieties of durian and different varieties of fruit, so that in the future we'll be able to share and we'll be able to promote the fruits here in Abunturan as we are gearing towards sustainable development. I have question, ma'am, that um, for how many for how my question is, does permaculture, ma'am, include herbs? Does permaculture include other 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 medicinal plants, ma'am? That's my question.
That question will best be answered
It's
by.
a very quick answer. I think permaculture is designing with living systems. So herbs, plants, crops, root crops, anything that grows, anything that crawls on the ground, anything that shoots up, it's part of that design system. And it's for us to understand how nature designs such amazing abundance, and then to translate that in our productive gardens. And I get the feeling that what you would like to set up in Nabongtran is exactly that, like a little garden of Eden, and that can showcase in a very short time that abundance is within reach of farmers. It's not something that can only be done by rich people or those who have means of production, but also by those who are struggling to eke a living. And I think it's really about how do we change the way we look at farming. It's not farming for the market per se, but it's starting with that passion and starting with growing the food that we need to create a little bit of sovereignty for ourselves, for our community. That's our town, and then probably our province, and so on. So yeah, that's my long answer for your very short question.
Yes,
But
and I will have
do
to
it.
cut both of you
Yes.
because
Okay.
our next speaker is ready and available. All right. And although there is a question for you, Bonnie, I believe this is for you. But if it's not, laot, yun ba yung, kasi hindi ko na, nakalimutan ko na naman suotin yung salamin ko. But someone seems to be interested in joining your team. So you can go ahead and message them directly and discuss offline. We're very happy that you made a connection today. Right? Good luck and hope to see more of your participation to PPA events. All right.
Thank you so much, ma'am and sir, and we're hoping
Okay.
for future.
Okay, our next speaker is very much ready. This speaker has attended almost all, no, not almost, all PPCs that I have hosted. And so far, hindi ko pa naman sinabing mali yung pangalan niya, pero pwede ngayon po yung pagkakataon na yun. So, mula po sa, or baka sa province ako magkamali. Ano? Anyway, TL, take it away, TL.
Hi, Sir Bert and Miss Bianca. Siguro bago ang lahat, large yung t-shirt ko, Miss Olga. Thank you. Anyway, siguro yung pagbabahagi lang ng karanasan nitong pandemic, kung paano naapektuhan yung magandang layunin supposed to be dun sa pagma-mainstream ng permaculture sa different projects, especially yung engagement dun sa office. So, okay ba? Nakukuha ba ako? Walang nagre-response? Naririnig ba ako? Hi.
Clear. Loud and clear.
Clear ba? Loud and clear. So basically, ako nakakatuwa pag may naririnig ako na isang local government unit yung nag-engage sa ganitong klaseng gawain. Basically, yung experience namin, sobra talagang bagal at punong-puno ng frustration. Dumating pa sa level na grabe yung reflection namin this point of time. Wala kaming magawa, natali kami kasi most of our budget diverted and naging reactive kami because of this pandemic. So wala kaming magawa kasi yun yung hinihingi sa atin ng local chief executive na lahat ng agency, lahat ng department kailangan i-divert yung regular program ninyo para dito sa pandemic natin. So basically, malaking hamon yun sa amin kasi ang pinakamalaking hamon ngayon sa amin yung supposed to be na Permaculture Research Institute site, yung Permaculture Hub sa Camarines Norte, sa 14 hectares. Sana nagawa na namin siya this year ng paunti-unti. But wala kami nagawa doon dahil naging isolation area siya for probable and suspected na mga umuuwi and mga responders. Doon sila hinaus, doon sa buong site na yon. Kaya halos kami mismo, kami yung nandoon sa area, wala kaming nagawa. But hopefully, this coming year, magkaroon talaga ng malaking pagbabago in terms of implementation of projects. At dumating pa sa level na dinalaw tayo ng tinding disaster, yung dalawang bagyo natin, yung Ulysses tapos itong Rolly, na kung saan mas na-appreciate ulit ito ng community na viable talaga yung reef-to-ridge approach. So yung build back better talagang dapat pagtuunan ng pansin. So isa lang po akong utusan sa hangigilid. We're trying our best na ma-inculcate or ma-incorporate yung komponahin ng permaculture concept sa mga gawain. At hopefully mahabol namin yung isang LGU na nag-adapt doon sa ganong klaseng concept kasi yung mga nasa coastal areas nila ay inalis nila ngayon kasi in preparation din doon sa Build Back Better. At hopefully maka-join kami doon sa planning session para yung component ng paggamit ng permakultura sa pagkakaroon ng kahandaan sa kalamidad. So nakakatuwa nga at ewan ko lang, siguro ganun yung domino effect sa national level na kung saan mas takot ang tao ngayon sa pandemic, hindi sila takot sa natural disaster. At kung kukumpitin natin, mas mataas pa yata sigurong namamatay sa heart attack, diabetic, etc. kumpara sa COVID kung titingnan natin. Kaya siguro dahil bago sa kanila itong pandemic na to, at hopefully ma-realize even the management and the people of our province na yung ganitong klaseng gawain ay sana sige, naglalaban nasa likod dumaan. So hopefully ma-mainstream natin to at mapatuloy pa natin yung pag-establish ng Permaculture Hub, yung PRI sa Camarines Norte. At hoping sila Bert makapunta dito nang wala ng travel restriction kasi kahit pagpunta nila dito talagang may travel restriction, kailangan i-isolate sa isang lugar at hindi ko siya pwede maka-jamming kahit virtual jamming.
Sorry, well, time's up na, pare ko eh. Alam mo naman. Sa Bohol, pinatayan yata kita ng microphone.
Hindi naman.
Hindi ba kita pinatayan ng microphone? Thank you very much. We will give opportunity for our viewers to ask you more questions. So we have our next speaker ready. So just hang in there. Salamat, TL. Our next speaker, Wrench Ramos.
Can you guys hear me?
Share your milestone and let's see how you can link it to this year's theme.
Can you guys hear me?
Go ahead.
Okay. Hello. So my name is Rench Zeus R. Ramos. A recent architecture graduate from Batangas State University. So after I graduate, I created a volunteer group based in Batangas where we teach young generation to forward their advocacies into the environment. So during this pandemic, we teach kids in our own communities to learn about how to become more mindful about their actions towards the environment. Like we did coastal cleanups, we did some workshops about solutions mapping, system thinking, and also to be more to appreciate them more the nature. We created a story about the marine plastic pollution in the Philippines, and we also teach them free diving for free. And right now, I'm interested in permaculture because of my past teammate in a survey in Lian, Batangas, where we have done coral survey where you assess the health of the marine ecosystem. Is it, if you can recall her name is Mars. And yeah, she introduced me to permaculture because as an architect and also an environmental advocate, I think permaculture is really important to our lives. And this permaculture convergence really I gained a lot of ideas and learnings for this workshop. And actually, I'm looking for a permaculture farm nearby here in Batangas, so where I can practice permaculture. Yeah, so that's all.
Is my mic on? Thank you very much, Ranch. Please stay on. So what's going to happen is very similar to what we did in Cebu. We'll have everyone speak, and then later on we'll have sort of a panel, and we'll throw all of the questions to the respective speaker. We have a few for TL. There's also one question already for Bon. I'm sorry. There I am with the names. Our next speaker, are you ready? It's either Albert or Raul. All right, Raul is ready. Raul Benjamin, you have 3 minutes. Please proceed.
Fourth convergence of the Philippine permaculture. So I attended Bert Peters' Advanced Permaculture in 2011. We continue to develop our farm in Cebu as a permaculture farm, but still we're still a long way. And it's good to know that there's a lot of people joining and interested to join the permaculture movement. And I'm working as a trainer for, we're doing workshops for financial literacy. I'm hoping that one of these days we'll come up with our own permaculture financial literacy program for our members, and that we can make permaculture as a viable alternative for the existing system. So all the best to the group, that we continue to prosper as a group. And also, as admin for the permaculture practitioners, I'll continue to support everyone in our effort to do the work that we have started. So thank you very much for accepting me today.
Yeah, it's interesting. I have seen your farm. At least I know what you're talking about. So continue developing it. Yes, and it's nice to see our tribe growing.
Yes.
Indeed, so we can tap into each other's strengths as well.
Yes.
Thank you, Raul.
Okay.
That is, it's always nice to see your tribe growing. And we'd like for it to grow some more. So please join us, participate in events and convergence like this. So asahan nyo po next year meron pa rin tayo. Pero hindi pa tayo tapos kasi meron pa po tayong isang speaker. Albert Belches, are you ready? Okay. You have 3 minutes, sir. Go ahead.
Hello, yes. Good afternoon. Okay, I am Albert Belches from Cabuyao Organic Farmers Association here in Cabuyao City, Laguna. Actually, our advocacy in organic farming started just para siyang hobby. We are only hobbyists in farming. Kasi as kumbaga ang asawa ko teacher, then ako naman nasa construction business and at the same time sa mga factory automation. So eventually wala kaming time into farming, but later after our kumbaga nag-retired na at medyo may edad na din, so yun na nagkaroon kami ng passion into organic farming. But when suddenly when one of my colleague introduces us this permaculture, it so happen yung aming sinasaka dito sa amin sa Laguna, before nilrentahan lang namin. We are planting black rice, red rice, then yun na nga, dahil naibenta, wala na kaming space. So that is why we equip ourselves. We enrolled in TESDA courses for organic agriculture. Tapos we attended online trainings like this, webinars. Then we took up NC2s for agriculture and also agro-entrep. Then we are putting up this permaculture farm in Barangay Bacal, Paracale, Camarines Norte. And natigil to during this pandemic, during this lockdown. So hopefully, pagka nalit na itong lockdown na ito, sana magtuloy-tuloy na po ang aming mga plano. So, wala masyado akong isi-share. So, thank you very much for this wonderful event. Then hopefully, makasama ulit ako sa mga susunod pang ganitong endeavor. Thank you very much and good afternoon.
Salamat. Sir Albert, sorry. Nasa sino yan. Pwede kong sumama and we will be more than happy to always for you to join us each and every time. So,
and don't forget that applying permaculture on your automotive business and on your engineering skills, it's equally important as well.
All right. So we have one last speaker, and then we'll get the chance to have everyone on screen with us. Dan Doledo. All right. 3 minutes. Take it away, sir. Go ahead.
Sorry, I have to speak like this with my baby. Biglang nagising kasi. Anyway, what I want to share. Can you hear me? Hello? Yeah, okay. Anyway, what I want to share to you is actually not what we are doing now, but what I envision for my project. Kasi nasa early stages pa lang siya. I took up basic PDC August of 2019. After that, nag-start na kami ng development ng farm. Unfortunately, dahil din sa pandemic, natigil siya. So, yun nga, ang gusto kong i-share is my vision for that project. It is a self-owned, self-managed farm in Rojas Isabela, and my goal for the farm is for it to become a homestead for my family, where we can grow our own food, and we can build a passive house passive house, maybe a tree house for my daughter na matagal niya nang nire-request. And siguro yung tree house that will come later, since if we plant a tree today, maybe in 20 years, that's the time na pwede naming lagyan ng tree house. And that's for my family, and it will also serve as inspiration to everyone else for them to copy or emulate. And what I have done from the time na nag-start ako, I have planted banana circles, some trees, and then I installed solar water pump for irrigation. Unfortunately, nung nagkaroon ng pandemic, yung solar panel ko ay nanakaw. So, during that time, nagagamit na sana siya kahit ng mga neighboring farmers, pumupunta doon para kumuha ng drinking water na rin. So, nakita ko ang challenges na experience ko sa pagde-develop at from a monocrop farm into a permaculture setup. Unang-una, dahil sa nangyari, nakita ko one of the challenges is logistics. From the time na nagkaroon ng pandemic, hindi ko na-visit yung site. Nasa Isabela siya. Nandito naman ako sa Pampanga with my family. And another challenge na nakita ko in doing permaculture development remotely is it is difficult to find someone who will do what we want to do the way we want it to be done. Siguro better if I'm able to
Hi, Sir Dan.
sorry?
Okay, we have to, your 3 minutes is up.
Okay.
But then one good thing about being the last is this is the time that we can gather everyone. So far, I see one question here, and it's for TN. However, he's no longer able to, I don't see him anymore. So we can just forward the question to him. But if any of our speakers or any of our viewers right now would have questions for our Pecha participants, so are we able to show everyone on screen just to acknowledge them again? All right. So just in case you would have questions for all of our viewers or any of our members in PPA. So our speakers for today were Bonnie, TL, of course, of Cam Norte. Then there's French, who's very interested in looking for a permaculture farm in Batangas. And also Raul, who's we're very excited to see his permaculture farm in Cebu. Without you knowing, Sir Bert has already invited me to visit your place, sir. And also we have Albert, who has moved from his construction business into organic farming. We're very excited as well for the many other achievements or milestones that you will use. And we're excited for you to be able to use permaculture through and through.
Ang na-feel ko rin is yung eagerness natin na sinimulan natin isang bagong undertaking Paano yung pagbabahagi sa kapwa, sa ibang tao, kasi magsimula ka sa isang permaculture project, minsan overwhelming, maraming iniisip, maraming kailangan gawin at hindi natin alam kung anong unahin. Maganda din kung may mga feedback tayo sa mga kapwang permaculturist na mas madali maintindihan kung anong ginagawa mo. Kasi minsan sa mga kapit-bukid, ang sasabihin nila parang baliw ka Anong ginagawa mo dyan? Parang kung hindi ka katulad sa ginagawa nila, parang outcast ka. At I think as permaculturist at na-feel ko rin yung aspiring stories sa inyong lima, kailangan talaga natin yung lakas loob sa mga ginagawa natin na tama ba ito? Makakaroon talaga ng kita ako dito. Baka mamaya galit pa yung asawa ko,
Ha.
walang tiwala ang anak ko sa sarili ko. So yung mga ganun na kwento, and maganda yung binanggit ni Raul kanina. Yes, interesado na ako dyan. Papakita natin yung economic viability at hindi lang siguro sa usaping pera. Pero yung economic viability in the sense na kung tayo ay gumagawa ng kabutihan sa kalikasan, sa pagbabago ng klima at ang mga ginagawa nating farms, bukid, ay na-contribute sa pag-store ng carbon, sa pagtago ng carbon mula sa hangin sa lupa. I think dapat makakaroon tayo ng mga premyo, makakaroon tayo ng mga accolades na galing sa gobyerno, kauna-una sana sa gobyerno kasi malaking tulong na ginawa natin sa mga permaculture farms or sites or even designs kasi ang ginamit natin ng lakas ay napakamaliit lang. Hindi tayo inaabuso ng lakas na galing sa paligid. So yan, nakikita ko sa inyong 5, malaking struggle at the same time, malaking excitement din na once na-reach na tayo sa threshold, 3 years, max 5 years, then makikita natin na mas magaan na yung gawain sa bukid. So, good luck at maganda na yung sharing ninyo kasi totoong struggles at marami pa sa mga hindi nag-react na yon ay magiging struggle din nila yan, magiging challenge din nila yan.
Oh. And I think I think TL was there, but now he's not again. We just wanted to be able to acknowledge everyone and have everyone on screen sana. But so let's give TL a few more minutes. Pero yun nga lang din yung na-take note ko, no, sa lahat ng ating mga speakers. They saw an opportunity to make a change and to do better. And yun na nga yung, I think one of the things na na-discuss din natin sa nakaraang ang tawag nito, nakaraang PPC natin sa Bohol, di ba? And sobra siyang what we're having right now is a perfect, culmination, so to speak, or the very things that we were talking about in Bohol, kinailangan na talaga ngayon. And this is what we're talking about. So in all of the permaculture coaching sessions we've had with the farmers, when we talked to them, so a few months ago we did that. Nagiging concern nga talaga nila yung the climate change and how all of this is going to affect their livelihood, affect their farms and all. And nakikita ko rin sa mga comments na yun yung naging medyo interesado din how to move forward in Cam Norte and TL. You guys did a good job, and there's an interest that we see here, so maybe you guys can talk offline about it. Because Ms. Cora was asking, may I ask if teaching and implementing permaculture part of, I cannot see, I'm so sorry, PDDRM strategy. There you go. Thank you very much, Direk, for finally showing that. So we would trust that you guys will connect and discuss further and engage this interest from Ms. Cora. So salamat, maraming salamat po sa ating mga naging speakers and participants. So stay there, everyone, all of our viewers right now, because what's going to happen next is a very good wrap and how all of this will, be tied together and presented.
I mean, I hope when we bring this kind of synthesis that we maybe sinasagot din natin ng konti yung mga struggles ninyo sa huling sharing. At ito din yung recap din ng mga iba't ibang lumalabas mula kaninang umaga hanggang ngayong hapon. So it's a sharing din, may konting pointers siguro na pwede nating gamitin kung pinaplano natin yung sariling gawain. At siguro, I mean, lalo na sa sinabi ni TL, kailangan talaga natin i-convince yung LGUs kasi kung medyo lost sila sa level ng pandemya at minsan kung sincero, okay lang, pero minsan dahil pera-pera lang, I think permaculture can prepare us for the long haul. At kailangan din natin, hindi dapat magiging short-sighted tayo. I know hindi natin kayang gawin mag-isa. Kailangan natin ng mas malaking movement para i-convince natin yung mga LGU. So again, maraming salamat sa ginagawa ninyo at sana makarating din kami sa mga lugar ninyo sa darating na panahon or sa tamang panahon.
Kasi I'm pretty sure meron at merong ma-inspire.
Yes, exactly.
That's all it takes. You know. Inspire one person, there's going to be a
Yes. Salamat, Miss V. And I'm going to share you this PowerPoint, I think. I hope engaging.
And we will need a few minutes
Okay.
few seconds to set this up. So I'm not sure if we will leave the screens for a very brief moment and we'll set up the presentation that Bert has prepared for us. So let me just put pressure on you there. And I like to bully this guy here. So this is we need to listen to this presentation.
I mean, I hope Miss V can learn from what happened with Ulysses, and she can rebound back from a flooded garden and a damaged house. We can smile with it, but I know it's a heavy thing that happened to her. But again, I hope that it won't happen a third time or second time. Third time or a second time.
For me?
Yeah, third time.
First yun.
First, okay.
Yeah.
So, no more third times. So, again, ganon din siguro sa mga activities sa bukid. Kung may nangyari ng damaging effects, wag na tayo parating pupunta sa level ng mga dole out. At yung tulong-tulong ng mga karamihan ay dole out packages, evacuation centers. I think building up that resilience within and among ourselves, I think that's the way to go.
All right. So I will stop you there. You have to save some for what you're about to present. So take a deep breath.
Okay.
Catch your breath for your big presentation.
Yes.
Oh, did I pressure you enough?
So no. If you're leaving the table, then
Yes.
I can remove my mask.
That is very true. So that you can breathe better and speak better with your mask off. We will be back, guys. Just give us a brief few seconds to set this up for you.
Okay. Thank you, V. Okay, so I'm supposed to share my screen, but then it's not showing. Maybe a small picture of me and a big yes, that's what we want to see. So magandang hapon ulit. Ito yung isa sa mga huling presentations natin, no? Question is really lying on the tip of our tongue. Where are we traversing? What should we be doing? Making sense of our actions. Anong tamang gawain? Ano yung maling gawain? Yung compass natin. Kailangan natin i-recalibrate siguro yung compass natin. Kasi maybe north may become south, south may become north. You don't know what climate change is going to do to us. Preparing for an uncertain future. Hindi natin alam ano mangyayari bukas. Remember yung mga, what happened in Marikina, the 100-year flood happened in less than 8 years. Again, that's something to wake up from, no? Building the later here and now. So building that resilience, the sooner na tayo magsimula, mas mahusay, mas maganda. The time to act is now. And then I think activism, when Bo started with her lobbying or campaigning for Greenpeace and later on for break free from plastics, it's really what it teaches us is that activism. The real activism that we need is mobilizing our actions towards carbon neutrality. And we don't have the same means. Maybe we don't spew out the same carbon that the developed nations are doing, but we shouldn't get there first before we learn our lessons. I think we should revert and we should be changing our ways right now. Will be the way to move forward. So let's be active from within, because I think we can't keep on pointing the finger to others. I think maganda din na mag-apply na tayo sa sarili kung anong ibig sabihin na maging activist tayo. So systems thinking. I put a picture here of putting solar panels, understanding that it's not just about the solar panels, but also about realigning yung paggamit ng lakas natin. Kasi once na may renewable energies ka or regenerative energies, hindi basta-basta pa tayo pwede ituloy yung system na ginagawa natin dati. Kasi hindi din kaya ang mga solar panels mag-provide ng tamang or sapat na kuryente. So, yes to solar panels, but yes to changing and yes to understanding the systems. And then regenerative cultures, building with bamboo, with native materials, getting fun building and using simple materials. Kung simple, kaya natin lahat. Kung itak lang ang kailangan sa pagbubuo ng isang building, bakit hindi? Nagiging masyadong sanay tayo sa semento, and that has led to heart pump services that led to heat islands, lalo na sa mga siyudad natin. And you know the effect of a heat island. Water can't percolate. It rains too much in the wrong places, not in the farms, but in the cities. So preparing the second level, when we listen to Karen going to food sovereignty, smart and collective undertakings, that's what we need. A food library, a seed library, you can't set it up on your own. You need equally engaged people in a community that say yes and passionately sila ang mag-engage sa ganitong klaseng undertaking. So prepare with others, build multifunctional systems. Hindi lang isang sistema na ang goal lang ay kumita ka, kundi isang sistema kung may kita ka pero may ginagawa ka rin maganda sa kalikasan, at pinaka-importante, na-enjoy mo rin yung ginagawa mo. Kasi ito yung picture ng isang natural pool. Actually, this is a nice story. Vincent, if you're still here, the lotus I got from you in Cam Norte, it's flourishing in the treatment basin for this natural pool. And I have been struggling, I honestly admit this to each and every one of you, for years to make a lotus grow in the farm in my house here in Marikina. But now I was able to do it in a natural pool. So the dirtier the water, the more the lotus is happy cleaning it for us and bringing back clean water. To make it resilient and unique as well. It's fun to, kanina binanggit ko yung kakaiba ng itsura ng mga butil, mga binhi. Pero it's also yung the way they grow, yung itsura nila, and then creating landscapes that are amazing, funny, and nice and beautiful to look at. At mind you, talking about the lotus flower, pero there are so many other flowers. Besides yung seeds, I think flowers are the next most amazing feature that nature has been giving us. And for us to enjoy it, while it's really a reproductive system for plants to do a very functional job, to be able to feed the world, basically. Or at least to make sure na tuloy-tuloy din yung kanilang generation or yung kanilang lahi. Building. Ito lumapit na yung sa topic ni Vincent. Feasible actions and sensible non-actions. Parati ko din sasabihin at yan yung mensahe namin dito sa PPA. Kung hindi natin kailangan itayo yung isang building o isang massive na struktura, gawin natin. Huwag na nating i-push. Kasi marami na tayong buildings, di ba? Ang kulang minsan sa atin ay yung mga natural systems na sa paligid natin. So yan, learn how to build or not to build. To be or not to be. Who said that a long time ago, many ages ago. So again, it's about constructing resilient systems, but sometimes, kung kailangan, it's about deconstructing. So these are complex systems. Complex systems because maraming kumpunahin na isama-sama natin sa ating mga permaculture sites. And at the same time, adaptable structures. Kasi kahit nakikita natin yung kanina pinakita ni Jake yung PRI upcoming sa Cabiao, PPA PRI, pero hindi naman ito, ginagamit din namin ng mga bato, kaya lang that's just to create a skeleton. All the rest will be earth and earth plaster and bamboo. So yung balance then between modern materials and natural materials as we go along. So how will we get there? And I think what's important is, if I say action research and action experimentation and hands-on, it's really like start doing it. At sana kung isang bagay na nakuha nyo dito sa ating sharing itong araw na ito sa 4th Permaculture Conversions, it's to get yung palakasin natin yung looban natin. Experiment, but experiment with whatever we know about permaculture. And if we don't know it, tatanong muna natin. Kasi kailangan natin mag-act na. Gagawin na natin yan para maintindihan. At yung feedback na yan will make us even better in the process. We will never be able to fix the world in front of our screens. And what COVID taught us in the past year is na siguro maraming may Zoomitis, maraming na may matamlay. Yung physical contacts, yung spiritual contacts, yung engaging contacts of critical thinking minds, kailangan din natin. At iba kung purong nagbabato lang tayo sa virtual world, kailangan din natin yung actual physical embrace ng mga ideas natin, ng mga challenges at yung mga whatever na pwede natin gawin para sa kabutihan ng isang community or sa sarili natin. So act, prep, and build. I mean, very quickly, I brush through this. No, there are many things happening na overwhelming din sa atin. Kanina sa plastics, I mentioned yung Pacific Gyre. It's the largest swirling patch of plastics on the ocean, and Philippines is number 3, contributing to that. So there are so many things we can do. Common sense actions, reactions. It's stop using plastics. I mean, I know for 100% hindi siguro kaya natin gawin, pero maybe we can cut out 80% ng plastic sa buhay natin by buying the products that are coming from nature. Walang plastic sa kalikasan. Ang saging na tumubo sa banana plant, hindi naman nakarap sa plastic eh. Pupunta ka sa supermarket, naka-vacuum pack na. Bilhin mo na lang siya sa wet market. So let's learn to go back to those systems, harvest and use plastics, whatever we have, to make roads, to do something with it. Maybe we should plant more trees that we can use as food wrapper, bingabing, banana leaves. There are so many choices out there in the Philippines, large leaf plants and so on. So that's it. And then you have the second happening, the radioactive pollution in Chernobyl and but also Fukushima. All of these things in the air and in the land and polluting the sea, they are happening without us even feeling it. So let's try to reduce us buying energies, kasi by clamoring that we need more electricity, it's exactly giving this kind of development project an edge. So it's up to us to say, no, I don't want to be participating in the dirty coal business. I want to change the way I look at energy. And if you can go off grid, get your own solar panels, it's worth it. Pero replan, realign your energy uses as well. Again, floods have become more prevalent. I think Ulysses, Ondoy, hindi lang nangyayari sa Marikina, what happened in Cagayan Valley, in Isabela, it's even worse, no? Wiping out complete livelihoods ng mga tao. So we need to start building different houses. Binanggit ko dati yung kwento na the old bahay kubo standing on stilts, first floor is completely open. It's a perfect design for our floodings. It goes with the flood, and then flood goes down. The first floor is still, well, I hope you're not in a too closed area near the river. Kaya lang hindi na natin maintindihan kung saan dapat at sapat yung pagtatayo ng bahay. Nagtatayo na tayo sa gilid ng dagat, nagtatayo na tayo sa gilid ng ilog. Huwag na natin sabihin wala na tayong space. Meron pa rin tayong common sense. Kung hindi na pwede, hindi na talaga pwede. So dapat ipatayo natin ang buildings, medium rise, whatever the solution, kailangan din dito ang matinong local government units. So nurture the wetlands kasi kailangan din natin. Kahit dito sa Marikina River, Pasig River, we need wetlands and we have been plastering them with cement all along the river. Remove the hard concrete surfaces kung hindi natin kailangan. Our 4-lane highway plan, I'm sorry, baka ako lang ang negative dito, pero puputulin natin ang puno para sa mga kotse na within maybe 10 years time frame, wala na tayong cheap oil or gasoline to fuel them. I wonder what will happen then with all the cemented pavements. Baka drying areas ng palay, baka pwede pa. The ozone hole, stop burning gases. Understand what methane releases do. And exactly here comes in the rice fields. The way we treat rice fields, the way we plant rice, our intensive cattle operations, all of these things are to be revised, to be retold, to be changed as well. Anyway, I've gone through a few examples, but in each and every one of these seemingly amazingly complex things, we can start doing and make our own little steps to change and to turn our back against these systems. We all need to be beyond Calimero. Maybe not everyone remembers Calimero, but that little chick when I was young, parating nako-complain dahil siya ang maliit at yung buong world ay against him. And yung voice of complaining tayo na it's not my fault, sila yung mga politiko yung mga malalaking corporations. Yes, we know. Kaya lang in the end, it's either nakukonsume ka rin, nakikisakay ka rin sa kanilang mantra. So kailan pa tayo ipapakita na pwede pa rin tayo mag-counterflow kung kailangan tayo mag-counterflow. Hindi dahil gusto natin magiging kontrabida, kundi mali na yung direction natin kailangan na natin baguhin yung direction natin. So, design as art. I mean, I give 8 steps for you to kind of, and this is a project we did just for you to understand kung magsimula ka ng sariling permaculture project. And it's just one object. Kung nagtayo kami ng isang malit na school building, daycare building, and nag-pop up then yung number 1, frame your issue. We need a toilet. And of course, coming from PPA, we said compost toilet kasi yan ang gusto namin ipapakita sa community. Pero number 2, what would you prefer to be different? Siyempre, medyo may hesitance na yung community na gusto nila sa number 2 na isang typical na water seal toilet. So, sanang kompromiso. So, reflecting on the issue, number 3, nagbubuo kami ng isang vermiculture compost toilet na mahirap hanapin talaga ng information. Wala pa namang sample sa Pilipinas. So, nag-isip-isip kami. Nagpaparinig pa kami dito kung paano yung i-design kasi this is a public zone, may mga children, maraming gumagamit ng kasilyas. So, nakikita natin sa number 4, we move from question to action. Kailangan talaga natin gawin. Nakikita rin sa number 3 yung loob ng chamber na ginawa namin. No? So, nandun yung vermi, nandun pa rin lumabas yung manure na galing sa kasilyas, pati yung tubig, pero may watering system. May drainage system na yung water, yung excess liquids will be drained away. into number 5, where we act in the world because we understand ang mga halaman pala, yung mga wetlands ay tumutulong sa pagpapalinis ng tubig na medyo polluted. Yan ang pinakamagandang tungkulin ng isang wetland. At minsan, kadalasan, nakakalimutan natin. So here, we built a actually an artificial wetland connected to the vermicomposting system. Then we notice the plants, the kind of plants that are doing this work in the most effective way. That's number 6. So we collect these plants in the neighborhood at nilalagay din natin on top of the gravel and the charcoal that you can see in the tank. Number 7 is about recording your noticing. So we went through a series of systems na balik-balikan yung area, i-check, i-fine-tune, ayusin ng konti. And then begin another circle. You finish that thing, that project, you know it now, and then you can start improving. Next time something like this happens, you're ready to go kasi na-practicean mo na nandito na siya, naka-record na, so may data ka na. At the same time, medyo komportable ka na, di ba? Nagiging confident ka na rin na gumawa ng isang vermi composting system. It looks, on the outside, when you use it, it looks like any other water-sealed toilet. But sa loob, and whatever happens after that, it's a complete different system and path that our affluents are following, the black water is following. So, I give a few more examples. I mean, I hope I'm not going beyond just encouraging and kind of reaching out to our deep ingrained creativity and to loosen up that a little bit. For acting, prepping, and building, soil is something of essence, no? And the 4-step positive action that we can do is always leave soil covered with living plants. Compost everything consumed, return into the earth. Don't disturb the soil by plowing or applying invasive methods. And recycle biomass as food for other living matters to process and enjoy. This is, you see the plus in the middle, and you go around, you keep on cycling that, you keep on cycling, and the more you grow, dadami na yung halaman, dadami din yung biomass, dadami na rin yung yaman sa loob ng lupa. At minsan, yung excess, pwede mo na gamitin sa mga intensive growing areas sa paligid, pero your forest will change over time. Yan yung maganda sa isang food forest, sa isang agroforestry application. Where we need yung biomass, kailangan natin yung fuel na galing sa kalikasan. And this is the most beautiful fuel. It's not a fossil fuel that has been stored in the deep under the Earth's crust, but it's about this kind of thin crust where everything is happening, everything is moving at a very fast pace. Understanding that and applying that, and you're good to grow your system. Tubig, kailangan din natin. Act, prep, and build. 4-step positive action. Protect water sources by restoring watersheds. And we can do that by many things, no? By putting dams, rainwater collectors, contour canals, etc. Design compulsory rainwater collectors for all buildings. But that's the government speaking. Sana, I mean, for all architects, it's mandatory na maintindihan nila kung how rainwater can be stored in any big building. Para hindi na natin iwawasakin yung Sierra Madre or yung mga remote areas kung saan may magandang gubat pa. So, kailangan natin i-create din ng sariling responsibility. So, kada bahay, may sariling rainwater collector. Creating dams or sinks in the landscape, no ponds, dams. Yes, these are small-scale, non-invasive actions. And I'm not saying na kailangan natin malaking pera dito, kundi matinong pag-iisip at ipaplano natin yung dam para may mahabang buhay na kakamitan sa isang munting bukid. Channel wastewater to filter systems where needed. Again, gray water may be polluted with some soap. It's perfect for the gardens, and if you channel it right and you let the gabi and the kangkong take care of it, it's all being consumed and it's all being taken care of by plants. So positive action, water in the garden, not too much, just enough. Store it where you need it. Kung darating na yung dry season, at least may access pa rin tayo. So what's on top? No? Act, prep, and build again. What do we do on top of the soil? We have the water, we have the soil. Again, 4-step positive action. Planting trees by trees. trade guilds, understand kung pupunta kayo sa farm ni Vincent, kung pupunta kayo sa mga farms ng PPA or yung ibang areas namin, parati yung guild of trees, malaki, maliit, small, etc. And plants as well. No? Select plants that provide and support. Create guilds of embracing species. Embracing meaning to say, they're rooting together. Mag-build sila ng isang very strong resilient system in the soil against the wind. That's what we call windbreaks. No? Hindi mo pwede sabihin na magtatanim ka ng isang puno o windbreak na ito. Hindi. Mabilis matutumba yan. Pero kung may tatlohan, apatan, limahan, matibay na system yan. Hindi lang sa labas, kundi sa loob. We've guilds with the different guilds to ensure a stable landscape and ecosystem. You start landscaping, hindi natin kailangan ng professional landscaper. Ayoko din itanggalin yung kanilang profession. Pero sana sa permaculture, lahat tayo magiging landscape artists as well. At pwede pa rin natin itatanong, pero landscaping with natural plants, with local plants, with endemic plants, the only one who can answer that is you. Kung sa sariling lugar mo, dapat pinag-aralan mo yung local plants at pag-isipan mo rin kung paano sila magsama-sama sa isang resilient system. So, this is it. I mean, this is a short synthesis from activism to prepping and to building. And I think we have heard inspiring stories kanina, and we hope sa PPA na we continue to hear these inspiring stories from you guys over the net, virtually, but engage us. Let us know kasi we want you to be known as well. And I think very soon Jabez will give a little bit input on an open source map. And then sa huli, magbibigay din kami ng idea about mapping permaculture members throughout the Philippines and also giving them credit for what they're doing. Kasi panahon na tayo mismo ay magbibigay din ng konting accolade sa ginagawa natin. So, maraming salamat and stay tuned. We are not yet going home. Malapit na pero huling hirit na ito. So, si James, okay na?
Okay na.
Are we late? So I'm happy. Hi, Jabez. I'm happy to introduce Jabez, board member ng PPA. Jabez Flores is connected with the University of the Philippines, Los Baños, also with University of the Philippines Open University System. And I think he's one of the few who's really into research and documentation related to permaculture. And some of you may know him, may know his blogspot. So we give it now to Jabez to see how we can better link together as well. Jabez?
Thank you, Bert. Good afternoon sa lahat ng participants ng 4th Philippine Permaculture Convergence. And to end this event, we would like to share itong ginagawa naming collaborative permaculture map na we started back in 2014, I think, or 2015. Matagal na. Pero this was the first time na pinut out namin siya sa public through Google Maps. So, explain ko kung paano to nagwo-work and kung ano yung objectives nitong map na to and kung paano na siya magagamit and paano siya magagamit ng PPA to build social capital and improve networking within the permaculture movement. So, ang permaculture map na to, ang objective niya is to encourage collaboration and cooperation between practitioners and the agriculture and development sectors. So, yung sa ginawa naming map, hindi lang mga permaculture sites yung makikita natin dito. Meron dyan yung mga suppliers sa mga agri-supply, mga offices and organizations na private and government na tumutulong sa mga farms, sa agriculture in general. So, marami kayong makikitang mga groups dito, tsaka even individuals na nakalagay dun sa map. Now, how do we use this open source map? Yung map data nito ay pwedeng i-download as KML or KMZ file. Pwede niyan gamitin for school or personal research and even for your own networking purposes. Now, for the purpose of this activity, of this convergence, ang PPA ay gagawa ng sarili niyang map of mapping yung mga members ng PPA. So, gagamitin ng PPA yung data na nandito sa collaborative map na to para bumuo ng parang membership map ng mga practitioners. Ito po yung yung link to the map. So, bit.ly/permamapph. So, pwede niyo po yan i-type sa browsers niyo para makita yung map. I think ita-type naman to ng PPA dun sa comment section dun sa ating Facebook live stream. Inulit ko lang, bit.ly/permamapph. So, kung na-click nyo na po yan, madadala po kayo dito. Ito po yung makikita nyo. So, para mag-add ng inyong entry, i-click nyo lang po itong section na to na nasa left-hand side ko. Nakalagay doon, click this link to add to the map. And then, may makikita kayo dong form. So, ito yung form na makikita nyo. Collaborative Permaculture Map of the Philippines. So, nakasulat dito, we are making a Philippine map of everything related to or inspired by permaculture. So, it's yung sa purpose nung sa group namin, which is Permaculture Research PH, hindi lang mga permaculture practitioners or permaculturists ang hinahanap namin. So, the goal is collaboration, cooperation, and sharing of information among practitioners of permaculture and other sectors of society, particularly the agriculture and development sectors. So yan, pag kinlik nitong link na to, makikita nyo yung map uli. Ngayon, ang unique dito sa gagawin na map ng PPA is pag nakita nyo yung field na short description, please include nyo in parentheses PPA member kung member na kayo ng PPA para malaman natin kung alin dun sa mga entries sa map ang member ng PPA or umattend ng convergence. So, lagay nyo lang siya, include nyo lang siya in parentheses. Para pag dinownload ng PPA yung data, malalaman nila kung sino yung mga naka-network na sa PPA. And then, makikita nyo to, add my entry to this, tapos may checkbox doon, i-checkan nyo yung permaculture sites. Okay, linawin ko lang din, kung wala pa kayong project or initiative or site, you can add an entry as an individual. Dun sa map namin, merong mga individuals na na wala pa silang project pero gusto nilang mapasama sa map. Now, to protect your privacy, kung pwede namang wag nyo ilagay mismo yung specific address nyo, pwede nyo lang ilagay yung province nyo or yung municipality nyo or city para naman hindi nakapin yung location nyo, yung personal location ng house nyo doon sa map. So, like for me, yung permaculture garden ko, hindi nakapin doon sa mismong address ng bahay namin, pero nakapin siya doon sa municipality namin. Just to protect yung privacy ng mga tao. Pero if you want people to find you, pwedeng mas maging specific kayo dun sa address. Okay, para maka-receive kayo ng updates on the map, kasi every time na dadagdagan yung map, nag-update kami sa aming Facebook page, Permaculture Research PH, and ang PPA ay mag-update din pag nabuo na nila yung permaculture map nila. And you can also visit our website for more free resources. Lahat ng references na you need for permaculture, especially mga journal articles, nandyan sa aming website. And marami din kayong materials na pwedeng i-download there. Okay, so if wala nang questions, Bert, back to you.
Galing. Very clear, I think, for most people na how to get there. At kung hindi, struggling. At nabanggit din ni Jebe sa akin, kung talaga nahirapan, siguro tutulong din sila sa paglagay dun sa mapa. Tama ba?
Yes, sir.
I think yung pinakamalaking effort namin dito as PPA and then the individuals within, mako-connect tayo. Kasi narinig din tayo na natin kanina na the need for feeling kung sino sa malapit ko ay ganon din. Parehas ang struggles or nauna or may mas magandang halimbawa, huwag na tayong magko-compete. Ang maganda dito ay tutulungan na natin yung isa't isa para, di ba? Yan. Oh, nakikita ko si Jepes na yes na yes. So, marami pa tayong gagawin na trainings at sharings about permaculture. At kasama din si Jepes sa pagdi-develop ng ating permaculture soon to come permaculture UPOU course that will be offered siguro by next year na kasi hindi ko lang alam. Yes. So, maraming salamat, Jebes. And
Thank you.
malapit na tayo sa ending. I-move on na natin sa medyo closing remarks sa level ng PPA dito sa head office. Maraming salamat and balik dito sa team, sa table ni Ma'am V and Bert. So, I think kasi the last part of any convergence is to remind us about sino pa tayo. And then maybe we can share the screen. Kailangan tayo mag-reflect lalo na sa mga hindi pa member na nakikinig pa rin sa Facebook na anong ibig sabihin na magiging member ka ng PPA? Anong ibig sabihin ng PermaHubs?
Correct.
Anong ibig sabihin ng PRIs? Narinig natin yan sa buong araw pero purong salita lang. Diba? Sasabihin nila na
bakit merong mag-break out the Zoom? How do you become a member?
Bakit hindi ako magsali dyan? Di ba? Anyway, nasagutin na konti bakit sila. Pero I think what we want to do here in this short presentation is creating action points for the coming decades. Again, for acting better, preparing better, and for also building better. So let's see what it means na sino ba ang mga members, no? So nakalagay sa una, PPA member is someone who attended the permaculture design course and has not refused to be called as such. Ibig sabihin, open source kami.
Yes.
Well, wina-welcome namin lahat. Hindi namin gusto mag-charge ng membership fees habang kailangan at kaya pa namin gawin yan. Kasi
membership is free, lifelong.
Yeah. So that's the next one. Membership is free and lifelong kasi we need all our time and all our efforts. Let's channel that energy to something beautiful. And I think members will receive discounts on purchases like courses, books, and lectures. Bahala na kayo mag-connect sa secretariat kung sa darating na halimbawa permaculture. Sa mga hindi pa member, sa darating na online permaculture course, mag-enroll kayo at mag-hingi kayo ng discounts. Members are driven by their permaculture passions. Siguro yan pa ang pinaka-importanting bagay sa amin na wag na tayo magsali na ano pwede ko kukunin dyan, parang magiging negative asset ka. Pero
sobrang nakakatuwa yan talaga, every convergence. When you see everyone gathered, that's talagang natutuwa for each other dahil sa mga nangyayari dun sa farm. Kayong sharean ng mga best practices.
Siguro, ako gusto ko na mararating sa panahon na ang Pecha Kucha ay ang convergence. Na parang konti lang kami tayo magsalita, kundi ang mga members na magsalita at mag-guide sa atin lahat kung saan pupunta.
Patay na lang ako ng mic.
Exactly na. So yeah, this is about who are members and why hubs. Kasi yan din lumabas kanina sa konting discussion with Jebes. We need to connect to each other. At minsan, kapit-bukid pala ay permaculturist pero hindi mo lang alam, di ba? Sayang na years and years na nagtatrabaho kayo sa isang lugar pero hindi niyo pa alam na parehas ang problema ninyo, parehas ang victories ninyo. So, PermaHubs are loosely organized members, no, who know about permaculture, practice it, and willing to improve their knowledge of the natural world in order to better respond and grasp nature design secrets. So, facilitator lang ang PPA dito. Kung hindi magkatayo ang hubs, so be it. We will facilitate. Kung kayo makukulit sa amin, magre-respond kami. Kung tatahimik kayo sa amin, tatahimik din kami. Ganun ang buhay, di ba? So, typically, it contains a number of people who will be within a practical reach of each other. It doesn't make sense na yung hub member mo ay nasa Baguio, ikaw nasa Marikina, and then yung isa nasa La Union. Imposible mag-meet kayo. Pero kung lahat kayo sa vicinity ng Baguio City, halimbawa, or lahat kayo sa vicinity ng Central Luzon, posible madali lang magpupulong-pulong, no?
Because there is great support found.
Yes, and yung uli, no? Yung support that we find in sharing and sharing ideas and gaining ideas and execute work in support with others. Kasi yan yung bayanihan spirit eh.
Yes.
Na parang kailangan pa rin natin i-reinvento yung bayanihan. Magandang salita, yung hindi pwede isasalin sa English, pero gagamitin pa natin yan. Kasi mas magaan yung activities pangbubukid kung may kasama tayo. May gitara, may musika, may konting sayaw, etc. So yan, hubs.
Meron daw po bang perma-hub sa Davao region?
May members, kaya lang it's willing kami mag-facilitate, mag-bring together.
Connect everyone,
Yes. Kasi may mga tao naman as in Davao City region, yes. In and around Davao. Pero mind you, Davao, malaking city na rin yan. So,
like meron tayong mga participants sa past BDCs from Davao. So, meron, Bonnie. We'll get you that contact.
Yes.
Alright, next.
So ito, mapping first things. Binanggit na ni Jebes na posible makakaroon ng 2 maps. The only thing different is na the open source map na pinanggit ni Jebes is open source at marami pang iba na makikita natin dyan. Gusto na namin magbibigay ng isang special map para sa mga members. Hindi dahil gusto namin maging special, kundi parang i-weed out din natin yung, halimbawa, sa map ni Jebes o sa Permaculture Research Philippines, kasama din, halimbawa, yung government agencies na okay din kung kailangan natin yung information. Pero sa level namin, inisip namin na hanggang members lang at level ng members kasi beginning ka, isang loop, medyo advanced ka, 2 loop. And then kung medyo nasa top ka na, 3 loop. Ibig sabihin na may mark ka tayo na maayos para makikita na natin, ito yung isang beginning permaculture farm or area or project. Ito naman ay medyo isang matured na permaculture na gawain. So visit,
yung mabibisita mo depending on your need.
Yes. So the same thing, very quickly, we will fill you in later on that. No? Visit our website. Inaayos pa namin ng konti, fill in the Google form, and then validation mail will come from PPA. And maybe nakre-request pa kami ng additional information kasi nasa sidebar, nandun din yung data. Tulad na binanggit ni Jebes, kung gusto mo na medyo nakatago yung lugar mo, fine, hindi natin isi-share din on screen.
Yeah.
Kung gusto natin na magiging visible ka, ilalagay natin. Nakikita din natin sa map sa kanan na nandun din yung mga Permaculture Resource and Research Institute. Nandun din yung Permaculture Hubs. So, imamarka din namin kung talaga active yung hubs. So, i-revisit din natin yung map. So, all of these things, no, members, hubs, and so on, it's for us to be able to reach out to all in time for 2030. So, strengthening, palakasin natin yung mga kakayanan natin. Matuto na tayo sa mga kamalian natin. Part of learning, fine. Pero dapat hindi tayo nahihiya sa mga mistakes. Pero wag na tayo paulit-ulit gawin ng kamalian. Diba? Sana sa maraming bagay, may natutunan na tayo na ito namin na una sa atin, ito na lang ang dapat natin gagawin.
Pero meron pa tayong mga pahabol na questions before we read those. Meron ba daw hub sa Panay? And the same person also asked, paano daw siya mag-apply ng membership? So nabanggit kanina ni Sir Bert, I think you can either enroll in the basic PDC course
or any other permaculture course kasi hindi naman tayo
mag-message lang po.
May mga iba pang nagbibigay ng permaculture courses, minsan online, basta may papakita ka ng certificate na talaga dinaanan ka ng isang buong cycle. So permaculture ay hindi sobrang bago, naintindihan natin. Parang at least may basic effort tayo bago tayo magiging member ng PPA.
So Gwen can message the PPA Facebook page
Yes.
to get more details on how to apply for membership.
Yes.
Or maybe how to be acknowledged as a member. Okay.
So, and then yung huli dito, let us engage in quick actions with long-lasting effects. Mabilis dapat yung pagkilos natin, pero yung gagawin natin ay hindi pang isang taon lang, dapat matibay. So hindi ito ibig sabihin na paspas tayo kumilos ha. Matibay at maayos kasi ayaw ko din yung mga comments ng mga ibang tao na pakapiyaw lang ng permaculture, parang mga hippies lang eh. Parang ang mga kasilyas nila, pangit, ang mga bukid nila, parang wild. Kailangan natin ipapatibay din sa sarili na maayos at maganda yung resulta. So tutulungan natin sa level ng ganyan din, yung mga bagong members at yung mga projects ng bawat member ongoing sa buong Pilipinas.
Ongoing sa buong Pilipinas.
Yes,
Yun
ongoing.
Gusto ko lang ulit-ulitin. Sarap kasi pakinggan mo.
So that's the answer to what Ms. Bianca was saying. Now we need to rely on each other's skills. Kasi may mga tao na marunong sa pagbubuo ng isang bukid. May mga tao na marunong sa pagproseso ng mga prutas. May tao na marunong sa gumagawa ng mga aprotec. So all of these skills, hindi naman ibig sabihin lahat sa isang tao yan. Diba? So connect again and then share yung mga magagandang tools left and right.
Yun din yung maganda sa Pecha-Kucha.
Yes.
Naka-highlight the skill of a particular member, and we can all reach out to each other depending on the support that you're looking for.
Yeah. And then we need to weave together single efforts into larger impact zones. Yung visibility kanina lumabas na halimbawa yung farm ni Sir Vincer, kung siya lang matagal na panahon, hindi masyadong napapansin ng LGU. Pero kung maraming farms na ganyan sa paligid ng LGU, hindi na pwede sabihin na walang kwentang permaculture or hindi ko maintindihan. Nandun na. It's making sense. And we need to share the fun, excitement, and the capacity of permaculture with those still sourcing for solutions. I mean, yung gusto ko rin kanina sa mga presentations na yung passion nilang tatlo, pati sa Pecha-Kucha na yung passion ng bawat isa na naggawa na tayo ng certain decision sa buhay na ito na ang tamang gawain. At minsan, kahit frustrate pa tayo dahil hindi pa perfect pero nandun na tayo nandun na yung passion. And yung saya, i-share na natin kasi isa lang ang buhay natin as far as I know we can't recall that we came back really many times on this planet, but let's enjoy the life that we have right now and make it also enjoyable for those coming after us kasi climate change is not a joke. No, it's really not a joke. But we do believe sa level ng PPA na maraming solutions na kaloob sa PPA sa permaculture na pwede nating gamitin na natin, and let's have fun doing it. Share the music, share the fun, the jokes, and also the hard labor of the farm.
Most especially the hard labor.
But it becomes less hard when you have fun doing it. Diba? So ACPREP built towards resilience. I mean, this is the last slide. I mean, what can we do then to hope to see each other next year alive and well and physically present na hindi lang sa screen. Ayoko na sana kasi malaking plano natin sana makakaroon ng convergence in Marikina.
Malaking plano, maraming away between Bert and me. But it's every time, it's always worth it. Yun lang yung masasabi ko.
Start your very own project. Parang next year, we all share, no? And then be informed through our quarterly newsletters, websites, FB. At alam din natin na to be informed is also to take action. Look at the right sites. Connect with the best possible people. And you have seen some of them on stage this convergence. Marami pa iba. So ask your questions, ask for help, and we can see what we can do. So communicate with us to let us know, and then be on the map. Be on the maps. Maybe I should put an S here, no? Kasi there are at least 2 maps, and maybe others to follow. And then, huli, follow a course, learn something new, gain some skills. And I'm not saying the permaculture course, I'm talking about learn building with bamboo. Ano pa pwede? Build better stoves. Grow mushrooms, how to, and so on and so on. Life skills. I think one thing we learned from COVID is how to expand our life skills. Kasi to go to the market because may malaking pitaka ka, madali lang gawin yan. Pero kung wala nang laman ng pitaka, ano gagawin natin, di ba? So we will again challenge ourselves, and we hope to hear and see you throughout the year and again next convergence as well. So, hindi ko lang alam kung may mga urgent na tanong pa na lumabas. Pero maraming salamat.
Naimax. No more questions. I don't see any.
Maraming salamat sa lahat na nagstay hanggang sa huli. At we are very happy and we are pleased that we have been able to pull this off in front of all of you. With the technical difficulties, we were still able to make this work, and next year, promise no more technical difficulties.
Oh, that's a very difficult thing to promise.
Kasi we are going to be live again eh. Mas
Okay.
madali
All right. So hopefully we get to see everyone again live. And I'm sorry, there's a side note here. So as I wait for that note, thank you everyone for joining us. Maraming salamat po. And hopefully magkita-kita tayo next year. Naalala ko nung nasa Bohol tayo, the talk was Zamboanga ba? Or basta merong farm tayo din na i-visit. So sana matupad na yon. So once again, I am the self-appointed convergence queen. Pinangalan ko po yung sa sarili ko. Wala pong pwedeng umangal. Bianca Umali ni Pumuseno, maraming salamat po.
Bert Peters, your humble servant as PPA. And the team behind the scenes, some of you have met Jake Bautista, Juan Ia, Michelle Lorente, Michelle Holiday, all of them. And then
Our director.
si Cox,
Malanaw.
all of these people are running behind. And
Come on, guys, show your faces.
there they are, yes. But
Small but terrible.
some of them are camera shy. So
Very camera shy. Kaya gasgas na yung mukha namin ni Bert kaka-on cam because they always shy away from the camera.
See you again next year.
Bye,
Maraming
guys!
salamat.
Magandang gabi
Salamat.
po!